Hello, good morning. I hope that everybody's well and that you've had a good week. I've had a really lovely week. We've had some fabulous weather in Cornwall, cold but sunny, and I've got in some fabulous walks this week with Bertie Boo. I was trying to work it out and I think that we've done well over 50 miles this week, and Bertie's done more than that because he also walks with my husband as well. He's a dog that should have come with an endless supply of walking boots. I've never gone through so many walking boots with a dog as I have with Bertie. Earlier this week, we had an email from a needleworker that had fallen in love with Eliza Johnson. But the needleworker only stitches on Ada, and she asked us if we could help her adapt the sampler so that she could stitch it too. Now, we very much want all our designs to be inclusive, not exclusive. And for this sampler to be stitched on Ada, the verse and the dedication needed to be adapted. And Sandra this week did that. She sat down and she recharted the verse over two. It did mean that she had to move some of the motifs to give more space for the verse over two, and she had to modify the dedication slightly. But we do now have a PDF available just of the modified section so that you can stitch it all over two and on Ada. Now, if you would like to stitch Eliza entirely over two and you have purchased the booklet, if you contact us with proof of your purchase, we will send you that small PDF of that particular section. We can't promise to do this with all of our designs, but on this one we were able to do that. So, Eliza Johnson is there for everybody to enjoy, no matter what you stitch on. The other little bit of news about the Eliza Johnson sampler, there's been a lot of interest in the stitch along that Carolyn of A Stitching Time in Tasmania, Australia has started for her store. Although she's having stitchings in her store, she is having monthly live stitching videos, and anybody can join the group and participate in the stitch along. So that group is on Facebook. Sandra has charted a delightful pin keep based on Eliza Johnson that's available for the Stitch Along members, and there's two versions, one with Eliza's year of birth and one with the year that Eliza finished her sampler. So pop along and enjoy that, and enjoy participating in this Stitch Along, which is going to be starting on January the 2nd. The next thing that happened in the week, now I don't actually have much time to follow everything on Facebook and Instagram, but I did happen to see in my news feed that a friend had made a post that she had designed her first reproduction sampler, and that was Sharon, and her company, which she's just started, is called Thy Needles Work. Thy, T-H-Y, Needles, N-E-E-D-L-E-S, and Work, W-O-R-K-E. And Sharon has an Etsy store where she is selling her first reproduction, and it is delightful. It's a small red monotone primer sampler stitched by Anna Maria Pollard. So well done, Sharon. That's a super first reproduction, and I know that there are many more wonderful reproductions to come from Sharon and Thy Needles work. It's very important to support new designers. It's a really big step to make, putting your first design out there. It can be exciting but nerve-wracking at the same time, and we have to support new designers. Otherwise there won't be a second or a third and many more designs coming from their studio. So please pop along to Sharon's Etsy store and support this very, very gifted needleworker, and I know that her gift with her needle is going to come out in some fabulous reproductions in the years to come. The next thing that happened this week, needlework related, was our release of Sofia Bircham, and she is a very beautiful sampler. They're all beautiful, but she's very beautiful. And here she is. Now, Anna is a Norfolk sampler, a little bit different from the Norfolk samplers that we think of with the lozenge shapes, but a Norfolk sampler she is. Her colours are fresh and beautiful. When I first saw Sofia, my eye went to the bee skepp because bees are our company logo, but they quickly went to the peacocks below. Those are two very proud and beautiful peacocks. There's a lovely urn of flowers, a very graceful urn of flowers there, and there is just so much in this sampler. The birds either side of the baskets of fruits, it is just crammed pack with beautiful motifs. I love samplers that have a lot in them. This is very, very beautiful. Now, the sampler was stitched by Linda Clues, and Linda particularly likes working on high counts of fabric. So the model was stitched on 56 count Weeks Dye Works Swigart based linen in straw. We used 26 different colours, and the model was stitched with Vera Soise 103, but in the PDF download there are conversions for Soie d'Alger and DMC. We also recognise that not everybody wants to work on very high counts, so with the floss usage we have provided floss usage in lots of different combinations. There's 103 with one strand on 46 count, Soie d'Alger 1 strand on 36 count, DMC 2 strands on 36 count, and Soie d'Alger and DMC with 2 strands on 36 count. We're really trying to cater for the wide customer base that we have. We're all different, we all love stitching with different threads on different counts of linen. And the one thing about PDFs, they give us the freedom to put more and more information into our productions. The PDF download, it's available on our website for instant download, and it's available through selected needlework stores for download from them as well. The graphs that are with the PDF are a 20-page colour chart, a 20-page black and white chart, and a 1-page colour and a 1-page black and white symbol chart. Now those 1 pages are not designed to be printed, they're designed for you to stitch from your phone, your tablet, your PC, your Mac, your laptop, even your TV screen. You save the one page as a digital file, and then you can just blow it up and you can stitch from it with no overlaps, and you can blow it up really, really big. It's a great way to stitch, and it's very friendly to the environment because we're not wasting paper. And talking about printing the PDF, this PDF, I think it runs to about 48 or 49 pages. You don't want to print it all. If you're going to work from a printed pages, only print what you need. You don't need to print the colour and the black and white graph as well, unless of course you want to. Anna Sophia comes with a lot of background information on Anna. She was born in the village of Brampton in Norfolk, and Anna stitched her sampler when she was 13 years of age, or she finished this sampler at 13. I think probably this sampler took her a long time to stitch. There's a lot of stitches in this sampler for a little girl. When she was 22, in 1880, she married Frederick Charles Bishop, and Frederick was a butler. And a butler was a very prestigious position to hold, and he was very young to be a butler as well. Now, Anna Sophia and Frederick, they had 2 children, a boy and a girl. And Anna, she died in 1884 when she was just 26 years of age. She was very young. And she died back in Norfolk, living with her parents. And I wonder if she returned home because she wasn't well, or maybe Frederick took a position where his family couldn't live with him. That's possible as well. Frederick was a very interesting person. He became a butler to Francis William Lowther, and Francis William Lowther was the illegitimate son of the 2nd Earl of Lonsdale and Amelia Crisotti, who was an Italian opera singer. And this was a scandal at the time, that William Lowther Senior recognised his illegitimate son and left him his fortune. Francis William Lowther was a very, very wealthy person, and he lived in this castle. So we don't know if Frederick was the butler in this castle. The 1921 census will tell us that, and that will be out quite soon. When the 1921 census for England and Wales and Scotland, for Britain, is released, I've got this long list of follow-ups that I want to do. So we have quite a bit of information about Anna Sophia, her husband and both her children. Her daughter actually went to university, and in the early 1900s it was so unusual for women to go to university. This sampler has actually given me a lot of very interesting rabbit holes to go down with my research, and I've had great fun with her. I know that Anna has been very popular, so many of you have purchased the PDF download, and it's just so rewarding when we have reproduced a sampler and we can tell how popular they are. So thank you for each and every one of you who have purchased Anna. We have lots more beautiful samplers to come. Now, I had a question this week asked about framing in an email, and funnily enough the same question came up on Facebook from a different needleworker, and it was about framing Jane Fiddis. And Jane Fiddis has some turkey knot stitch on it, and turkey knot stitch, it's tufting. You stitch a loop stitch and then you cut it, and it forms the grass quite often on Scottish samplers. So the stitch protrudes quite a bit up from the linen. And the question is how do you put your glass into the frame so that it doesn't press and squash the stitching? Well, I never put glass into a sampler where it rests directly onto the linen. What we do is, and I'm going to show you on this now, this has got clear museum glass, so you can't really see the glass too much, but basically if you look at this, this is the frame, and this gold inner edge is part of the frame, but this fillet which sits inside is a separate bit, and the glass doesn't end here. The glass goes all the way, and it sits between this, the fillet, and the frame, and it is that fillet that lifts the glass off the linen and your stitching. Now, I don't know what you would call that outside the UK, but my framer calls that a fillet. Do you like this? This is, and I have told my husband he's not allowed to watch this video. This is something for my husband, and this was meant to be his Valentine's gift this year, but I didn't manage to finish it in time. So this has now become his Valentine gift for next year, and it's "Thy love divine that made me thine shall keep me thine forever," and that's my pledge to my husband, to my beloved. And the colours you may think are unusual, but I chose these colours specifically because they are taken from my husband's favourite shirt, and I wanted this, it's my gift to him, and I wanted it to be I won't say masculine, but I wanted it to appeal to him, and I wanted to put lots of thought into it. So it's a original design based on old samplers. I put the alphabet in, I put some hearts, and I put this beautiful, beautiful verse in that is my pledge to my husband. You know, that's part of my marriage vows to my husband, that my love is always and forever for him. I put our initials, NPRP, and I used some rice stitch here, which has given it some wonderful, wonderful texture. I would be very interested to know if you would be interested in stitching this for your partners or your husbands, your beloveds, for Valentine's Day. And if there is enough interest, I will release this as a little gem so that you can stitch it as well. I did earlier this year share this graph with a friend, and she has stitched it for her husband as well. I think that our husbands do understand what our needlework is, and they know how many hours that we put into our needlework, so they do appreciate it when we do something for them. I know my husband does anyway. So he better not be watching. Purchases. Well, I haven't really bought anything this week, but I did have a delivery from something that was ordered a little time ago, and this is the entire range of Aubusson fine wool from Auvera Soie, and there are some really, really beautiful colours in here, and I'm looking forward to experimenting with these wools. So many of the reproductions of the samplers that we reproduce are originally stitched in wool, and you know, I love silk. I might not like stitching with wool, I don't know, I haven't tried it yet, but although nothing will ever turn me away from silk, I do want to grow as a needleworker and as a reproductionist and a designer. And needlework, as I always say, is a journey, and experimenting with wool is another stage on my needlework journey. So this was a lovely, lovely thing to come. I ordered these from Paris, Auvera Soie in Paris, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Stitching wise, I've been in a very funny mood with my stitching. I think it's because the last, I wasn't very well, and then I had some time off work the previous week, and this week I've had time off as well. We should have been on holiday, and in fact I should have been in the States teaching as well at this time. So I felt that I deserved a little bit of break from working every day, because I do work 7 days a week. So maybe my stitching has gone out of the window a little bit. So I've been stitching on 3 models, and you can't stitch on 3 models. You're sort of like doing a bit here, a bit there. But this week, and I think it's because I showed Bristol in my last video, I really felt the need to stitch with just one colour, and a no-brainer project, where you can just relax and maybe listen to a good book as you stitch, or even maybe stitched with a tired mind. So I started a new project, and it's on what's this on? This is on Foxdale Millet by Legacy Linen, and it's a little red sampler that has sections of darning work in it, and it's going to be a very patriotic sampler, because this will read "God Save the Queen." This is a beautiful fabric, Foxdale Millet. I really, really like working on it. The sampler is over 2 and over 1, and there is quite a bit more over 1 than over 2 in the sampler. And the Auvera Soie 103 is sitting so nicely on the over 1 of this sampler. This is over 1. This is over 1. It's really pretty. I love little red samplers. Well, I love big red samplers as well. Okay, I think that's probably about all for this week. October 1st, we've got a special announcement. So look out on the Hands Across the Sea Samplers webpage on October 1st. Isn't it funny to think that we're almost just days away from October 1st? Christmas is going to be here before we know it. It'll be nice to start a new year. The COVID rates in this country are surging. there's new regulations of how we can live and conduct our lives at the moment. And, you know, we don't know what the winter's going to bring, but we've got our needlework, and our needlework is our retreat from the world and all that's going on in the world. As always, thank you so much for supporting Hands Across the Sea samplers. We're touched and very grateful for every single purchase of our designs that we receive. And I just want to say, have a good week, stay safe, stay well, and if God is kind, I'll be back next weekend. Bye-bye.